All right, guys, this is another episode. This is episode number
6, I believe.
Yeah, number 6. So we got some exciting stuff we want to show you guys. But before we get started, we want to talk about one of our sponsors for today.
Alright guys, so this video is being sponsored by Mr. Christopher Washington with Goosehead Insurance. He is also the rep who has given us the 2 Home Depot gift cards to give away today. So if you are in need of homeowners insurance, life insurance, ATV, motorcycle, any type of insurance that you can think of, he is your go-to guy. We'll be sure to list his information at the end of this video for him. So again, thank you, Chris, and we cannot wait to see who wins these gift cards.
All right, so let's get to the business. All right, guys, first up, peer pressure. You know, when you're building a home or you're looking for a home, everybody's got an opinion in regards to what you should do, but we want to talk about peer pressure to kind of address some of those things that we have to deal with coming from different opinions of others, especially when you're the person left responsible to pay for it. So there's some things my wife wanted to mention regarding peer pressure before we actually take you guys on a tour of the house. So let's go for it, Marie.
All right, so I guess going into this process and us making the executive decision to be as transparent as possible, I expected the questions. I expected a ton of inquiries about credit and money. What I did not expect was people trying to push over their wants and desires onto us. We are very accepting of, you know, ideas and things like that, but you would be surprised how many people will try to live through you in the midst of you living out your dreams, and you have to keep that thought in the back of your head of what you truly want. And I'm so glad that we kind of went in this with tunnel vision and knowing what we wanted, because we weren't easily influenced. So I just want to kind of put it out there, you know, which I know, I guess to kind of elaborate on it, social media is really huge right now. We all see the celebrities with the big, nice, fancy houses. We all feel like, you know, it's standard to have a home theater and things like that, and it's not. Be sure to build what you want. Be sure to purchase what you want and not what you feel like you should have based on other people's lives. So I just kind of wanted to touch on that, because we are talking about money, we are talking about budgets. So you have to be mindful at the end of the day, you're the one paying that mortgage, so you don't want to incorporate something in your home just to satisfy somebody else when you're the one that have to pay for it. So yeah, don't add the extras. People will ask you about the home theater systems. People will ask you about jacuzzis and pools and, you know, the extra bedroom for when family come home, but family's not paying the bills. So, you know, just kind of keep that in mind, you know, not to cave in. Make sure you stick to your budget. And I think that's about the biggest of it, but I just wanted to touch on it because, again, like I said, I had no idea how many people would have opinions and to, you know, try to impose their ideas upon us.
So at the end of the day, you've got to pay for it, so you better be sure that's what you guys want.
Right. So down to the fun part, which is the tour of the home and what they have done so far. They have gotten a lot accomplished. The last time we were in here, it looked like a maze with a ton of boards everywhere, but we actually have walls now, and you can kind of tell what's what. So for beginners, they have completed framing, decking, the roof, which was the most important part, plumbing, and electrical. First things first, I wanted to kind of touch bases about our fireplace. We had quite a few questions. We are doing a traditional fireplace, but it will be gas instead of us having to go out, find wood logs, and, you know, waiting for the fire to die down and things like that. And because we chose to go with a gas fireplace, the plumbers actually installed like a little pipe right here. Not sure if you can see it, but there's a little black pipe there that will actually have a turn key where we can just turn the fireplace on and off. And again, the fireplace is 20 feet tall, so it will go all the way to the ceilings. Pretty excited about the finishing on this. I can't wait to see what it'll look like. So coming out of the break room, we now have our kitchen area, and as you can see across here, This is actually, the kitchen will not have 20-foot ceilings like the great room, because again, we are doing 2 stories. So you have to kind of split the height of the roof in half. But one of the fun things about my kitchen, I'm big on lighting. So we do have 12 can lights alone in the kitchen. And we also, again, we've got a ton of plumbing and electrical because the electricians have completed the wiring. The plumbing has been done for the sink. And then you can also see that they have, the electricians have also started installing the outlets, which are all the tiny little blue boxes behind us. So for those of you who follow me on IG, you have some questions about what OSB boards were. OSB boards are actually this colored wood here. That is our actual walls of the house. That's where the strength of your home comes from after the framing. And the most important thing about OSB boards, they are very delicate. So you have to make sure you protect them from outdoor element. So whenever you do get to build your home, you will see that as soon as those boards go up, they begin to wrap them with what seems like a plastic material to make sure that they aren't affected by, you know, the rain, wind, and things like that. So yeah, that's what pretty much gave us our walls in the house and what closed everything in. So I know y'all know what room in the house is my husband's favorite room, which of course is the master bath. But my favorite room in this entire house is my laundry room. If you watched episode 1, we gave a tour of our previous home and you saw how small the laundry room actually was. I didn't have a whole lot of space to move around, basically washer dryer, and that was about it. So I was very adamant about having enough space to actually move around, function, fold clothes. I hate doing laundry, hate it. So I tried to make this a nice space where I could kind of relax and wrap my mind around folding 10 loads of clothes. But as you can see, right here we've got the plumbing for the sink. I'll have a sink in this one to help wash off shoes and things like that. I'll have cabinet storage along the top of here. We have washer connection, dryer, and then one thing that my husband really thought about and it didn't cross my mind was to have the plumbers to install a gas line in case I purchased a gas dryer in the future. We wouldn't have to, you know, have someone to come back in and pay extra for them to, you know, bust the wall open and do all of that. So again, that's one thing to keep in mind and one thing that you may want to address when you get to this point. Of course, my husband has about 5 or 6 outlets in here. One project, I'm really big on DIY, and again, I'm on a budget, so I did tell my husband that although I want a folding table, I plan to DIY myself along this wall here, so we shall see how it goes. So we are now at the kitchen pantry, and as you can see, I actually had the pantry installed underneath the stairs. One thing you'll always hear contractors and builders talk about is utilizing every piece of space possible. So our contractors actually, although I had the pantry placed here, I asked him if it would be possible for me to get all of this space here underneath the stairs, and he said yes, he would leave it open. So just be sure that you're getting as much space as possible. We are now in the master bath, which of course is my husband's safe haven or place of peace, if you like to call it. This is where our freestanding tub will go. This is the shower wall that we initially talked about. Behind this shower wall, we will have his and her shower heads. Your vanities will be his and her as well on each side of the room. And we've got a nice little walkway here before you enter my closet and Rick's closet. We also have a toilet room here on the side, which will have a barn door just to keep the room spacious. We didn't want the doors swinging in and out of the walk area like our previous home. All right guys, so I wanted to kind of touch or give you insight on this little drain hole here. Like I said, we are doing a freestanding tub, and if you are familiar with them, they kind of look like baby doll or rubber ducky tubs. But one thing that we learned after we picked out the tub that we wanted for the bathroom is those tubs tend to have 3 different drain placements, which is right in, left in, or center. Well, the tub that we initially chose for our bathroom was a center drain, and we had no idea that when our architect drew our plans, he naturally drew the plans for the tub to have a right side drain. It wasn't brought to our attention until after the plumber came in asking for the specs of it. So just FYI, if you plan to do a tub like that, make sure that you know what you select and what your architect draws is on the same page, because it was kind of a bummer for us when we had to change the bathtubs, because when we changed, the price went up, which also meant we had to adjust our budget. Here we are in my second favorite place of the house, which is my own walk-in closet. It's super spacious, but enough about the space. I wanted to show y'all this because my thoughtful husband, again, of course he's been, you know, managing all of the smart stuff and lights and things like that, but he was very considerate to add a sensor light in my closet, so whenever I enter, I won't have to worry about flipping a light switch. Once I open the door, it will automatically come on, which for me is a plus, because again, I tend to carry loads of clothes throughout the house to everyone's bedrooms. So I'm kind of excited about being able to just walk in and it goes off based on motion. All right, so when you first enter the home, again, you can turn left, which will be my modern living room, or what we're calling a flex room. It will be my fancier furniture just for when people come over for conversation, a glass of wine. Or you can turn right, which we have a small hallway here, which leads you into the powder room for guests to utilize. All right, let's talk about this view and the pool. I'm so looking forward to summer days and swimming all day. But this is the view that we have harped and harped and harped about, and we literally cannot wait until it's completely finished. For the most part, the pool is done. They still have to come in and do what's called plaster. And for those of you who aren't familiar with plaster, that is the color that gives your pool that pretty blue or that nice white. That is plaster. So they still have to come in and plaster. And this dirt that I'm standing on will all turn into a beautiful concrete skirt around it. We have had some of you to ask us about this little square attachment over here and ask if it was a jacuzzi. It is not a jacuzzi. It is what's called a tanning ledge. The tanning ledge normally has probably about a foot worth of water in it, but I'm pretty sure that's where Bailey will spend most of her time playing in the little bubblers and things like that. But it's literally just a place for you to lay. We'll have what's called tanning chairs in there, so you'll just be able to lay out in the sun and relax. We are upstairs now, where the kids' bedrooms, their bathroom, and of course Rick's man cave or man space is. Bailey's bedroom is in the back. It's pretty spacious. She'll actually have a window overlooking the pool and direct access to the bathroom without having to come out here in the hallway. We are in the kids' bathroom, and as you can see, the plumbers have already installed the bathtub, and there's a huge window over the bathtub that should not be there. It is going to be fixed. It's not a huge biggie or a big mistake. However, it was a mistake that Rick and I caught, which is one of the things that you want to be mindful of when building a home. We love our contractors. They have been awesome, but it is still your home, which means it is also your responsibility to monitor what's going on, you know, and just make sure that everything that's been done matches what's on your plans. But because we did catch the mistake early, they'll be able to fix it early. But there should be a really small window at the top. Add a couple OSB boards and we're good. We're ready to roll.
I wanted to do something a little different, which was creating a network closet. All of you guys know I work in the computer space. And so I wanted to make sure that we had full Wi-Fi throughout the house, because it is a little larger than what we had at first. So I wanted to make sure we had full Wi-Fi. And then for all of our home runs, for our smart devices, all of the Ethernet will come to this one closet. We have a panel here that is made by Leviton. This panel will be inserted into the wall. It'll sit flush in the wall. We'll be able to come up here and control anything that happens here as far as security, the TV's being connected to the internet, as well as the Wi-Fi throughout the house. So everywhere you go, you should have strong Wi-Fi. Of course, you know this is one of my favorite places because I am a networking guy. So this was like a must-have for me. All right, guys, so you're actually in the man cave now. This is my space. I mean, nobody's welcome up here but me. This is my space alone. So what we'll have here, of course, we'll have a nice couch and some seating area for my friends to come over. Really nice TV so we can watch sports or whatever I want to watch on television at that time. You can see a lot of the little blue boxes because I wanted to make sure I had enough power to do what I needed to do with. Also to make sure we had Ethernet wiring up here as well, so we can be connected to the internet to do all of my editing when we do wedding videos, all of that kind of stuff, commercials or whatever I'm working on. I'll have a direct connection to the internet as well. But all of that stuff will be taking place up here, and I am super excited to know I have my own space now.
So thank you guys so much for tuning in again on our home tour. Of course, we will do another one once we have, AC and all of that good stuff. But if you have not subscribed, be sure to subscribe. Also follow me on Instagram at Inspired with Marie. That's where I will give you guys sneak peeks and little tidbits until the next full tour.